From the outside, all this, it may look like I'm running away, but sometimes this motorhome, it's the reason I'm able to take part in life at all. Hello, welcome back everyone. If you watched my previous videos, thank you for watching. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Lee. I'm a former British Army soldier and I was diagnosed with CPTSD and chronic depression. Although my background is from military service, this channel is not just for veterans or serving soldiers. It is actually open to everyone, to anyone if you're unsure of your own self or questions about others, friends and family. Okay, this is a safe place where you can share your experiences and hopefully get some of my experiences back to help you on your journey. Now, the motorhome has become part of my recovery. However, it was never really intended to be part of that. I've got a question for you then. So when is a safe place helpful, or when does it become hiding? We originally bought the motorhome for, well, our experiences, travel and getting away. However, on that journey, it became very much part of my recovery. And like I say, it was never really intended for a mental health treatment. It just sort of happened that way. Now we all have to, or we get asked if we can try and find some form of hobby or some sort of activity to try and keep your mind active. Well, this, for me, is what keeps me busy. So how? Well, instead of me hiding away and doing nothing with life, this has, well, enabled me to get out, see the world, travel, interact and meet people. But what it does do is give me a safe place to retreat to, because I can get very fatigued. Sometimes I know it's happening, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I even mask that with alcohol and try and drink more to try and cover the fatigue, the anxieties, and everything like that. And that's never a good idea really, because it don't seem to work, and that can actually hinder you going forward. But the motorhome gives me that safe space. So I've been able to do things that, well, I probably wouldn't have thought was possible. And I'll give you a typical example. Now, crowds was always a big issue, but I'm actually able to go to a festival. Now, you might think, well, yeah, there's going to be crowds, and there is, but I've always got my safe space. So once I'm in this space here, or in my garden area there, then I know I can just chill out, unwind and relax. That's my safe space. Now, if I have the door open, if I'm sitting outside, of course, people are welcome to come up and say hello and talk to me. I feel comfortable because I'm in my safe space. Now, if I wanted less interaction, then I will just shut the doors, shut the blinds, and no one really has to know I'm in here, and I can chill out and yeah, just have that time to recover. Because that's half the problem, is if you're going somewhere and doing something, you don't get time to recover. So the only way to recover is to leave that event early. And, you know, it's unfair on your partners. If you've got children, you know, you don't want to have to keep coming away from events or away from things to do. I mean, even traveling and going abroad, everything like that, you know, I'm in my safe space. So it works for me really, really well. So as you can imagine, then this has become bigger than, well, it's become bigger than just touring. It's become bigger than holidays. It's become part of me, part of my journey, in such a way that I feel more comfortable in the motorhome than I do anywhere else. And even if I'm at Veterans in Action, you know, I can take it to them. There's a place to park there, but I've got all my facilities, you know. So if we go and have a look, I've got the bedroom, fixed bed. I've got a separate shower, toilet, sink, cooker, fridge, washing up area, and then, of course, my lounge. The seats swivel round, so it's ideal. Okay, so let's look at it this way. If everything outside is unpredictable, to me, it doesn't matter, because everything inside is familiar. I know where everything is. I know the van very well. I know all its creaks, all its quirks. and everything is with me. You know, so I know I'm not leaving nothing behind. I do a list for things, and I do my list daily, and it's to help me remember the tasks I've got ahead of me. And that could be as simple as coming down the motorhome, cleaning it, going to VIA that day, you know, everything like that. But it's familiar, it's got it with me, and even if I drive away, I know it's going to be on board somewhere. It also gives me control. I can control the noise, the light, you know, everything in here. So I'm able to control the environment for what I need at that moment in time. So I could just, well, come in here, onto the bed and chill. But I ain't got to explain myself to anyone because this is my space. And like I say, everything I do, not everything's going to work for everyone. It's about finding what's right for you and what helps you. This just helps me live life a bit more than I probably would have if I didn't have it. Now, the other big thing about this, of course, it's on wheels. I can drive it away. So I've got a choice. I've got a choice when I park up, where I park up. If I'm not happy, and we've done it before, I can move on. I haven't got to stay in that environment. I can change my environment to suit what we need. That's the ideal thing. You know, it's a home, a safe space on wheels. Now, we all know that sometimes you end up isolating and feeling trapped in your own home. This gives me the option of being able to take my home to a different environment. I'm able to look out the windows, look at people walking around the campsite, look at the lovely coastline, lakes. I'm able to change my environment instead of staying locked up in a room and isolating myself. Now, yes, you can end up isolating yourself in the motorhome, but I find it pushes you out more. It pushes you out to see things in life. The pressure's not there. If I'm not feeling 100%, I know I can go out, and even if it's for an hour, 2 hours, to explore my surroundings, if I start to feel that pressure, I know I can just come back. I haven't got to stay in that environment, even though I'm physically miles away from my main home. And that's what I love about it, is the fact that it's created a way to live life. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about managing your symptoms, managing yourself, and living life. So let's look at a festival, for example. Now, in a festival, for me to maintain the full day is quite a lot for me. And that's a typical example where I was able to come back, rest, get my calm again, and then go back out and enjoy the rest of the festival. Again, I could come back as many times as I wanted to. It's easier than if I booked a ticket and just went for a day ticket, having to stay there all day. I would rather be able to take my home on wheels and enjoy what I can enjoy, rest when I need to rest. So it means going out, exploring, different visits I do, touring. It just means it's more achievable. It gives me a base before and after something really demanding. And like the small journeys, it provides structure and something to work towards. But don't get me wrong, new places can still be difficult, but the motorhome can make it possible. I get time with Jodie, we have shared experiences, and I get to stay connected with ordinary life. And these are manageable steps towards post-traumatic growth. Now, don't get me wrong, the motorhome does not cure PTSD or chronic depression, because difficult days still happen even in the most beautiful places. And travel does not remove what's automatically happening in your head. You know, because sometimes plans changed, or journeys are shortened, or you simply need more recovery time. And like I've said before, is, well, the real struggle can occur afterwards when your energy levels are really dropped. So I look at this as another tool in my recovery box and never a miracle answer. Because I suppose you don't need a motorhome to create that safe space on your own. It's about finding your safe space, what works for you, and how you can use that to manage your symptoms. So the motorhome to me is very personal. It's very, well, it's sacred in a way, because it's become a massive tool, a massive part of my recovery that helps me be able to get out, live an ordinary life the best I can without it really affecting too many others or myself. I've got a place to come back to. I can recover, I can chill out, I can have a whole day just doing nothing. I can even, well, where we store the motorhome, I can just come and sit in here like I am now. But the motorhome to me is something bigger than just a vehicle for traveling and experiencing adventure. It's about life, and it gives me enough safety to create the manageable steps to move forward. So it supports my recovery, my connection and my purpose. And I can do all that without pretending everything's fixed. So the motorhome for me isn't about escaping life. It helps me remain involved in it. So what gives you enough safety and calm to live life? Put it in the comments. You haven't got to go into detail. But if you want to share your experience, that'd be great. The life I've got today means even more to me because there was a time when I genuinely believed that life was over. And in the next video, I'm going to share what made my 5th attempt of suicide my last. Once again, thank you for watching. If you need any support, there is support links and numbers in the description. Please go down to the description or at the end of this. And if you are in a real emergency, call 999. And like I say, thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.